Welcome to Child Care Rockstar Radio. I am your host, Kris Murray. Child care leaders around the globe are breaking through challenges, leading the way in innovation, testing new best practices, and impacting children and families in a much more powerful and positive way than ever before. Each week, join me for interviews with early childhood leaders and experts that will leave you inspired to become the next child care rockstar. Now, let's go. This is Child Care Rockstar Radio, episode 220, featuring Cynthia Maher. Hey, folks, welcome back. I am thrilled to be here in the podcast hosting seat. I am Kris Murray, your host, and this episode of Child Care Rockstar Radio is going to completely rock. And also, I have some big news for the podcast. Cynthia Maher is my guest today, and she is the owner and founder of Bedford Child Development Center in Michigan, just over the Ohio border, in the Toledo area. And Cynthia was a finalist for our Child Care Rockstar Contest at the 2025 October Child Care Success Summit. And so thrilled to bring her in to talk about her experience competing for Rockstar, what she learned, insights she gained about herself, confidence she gained about herself through that process, and all about her journey in early learning education over the last 20 years. We talk about what sets her apart, promotions that she's running, mindset, culture. Her website is incredible. If you guys want to check out a very clean and gorgeous example of a state-of-the-art website, you can go check her out at bedfordchildcare.com and give her some love. So if you want some cool ideas for community marketing and boots on the ground marketing in your community to try to build your brand in a bigger way, this is a great episode. And you're going to learn about all of that and a lot more. We are into early February, and as we release this episode, it has been, 9.5 years. Let's see. I launched this podcast in 2017, in the fall of 2017. So, I think it's either close to 9 years or 9.5 years that I have been hosting this podcast. And I have some big news today. This is my second to last episode of being the host of Child Care Rockstar Radio. It has been a huge labor of love. And as we shift into March here in 2026, I'm going to be stepping out of the podcast host seat, and our amazing CEO at Child Care Success, Jennifer Connor, and occasionally friends and occasionally myself will come in and help her and spend time with her here on the podcast. But she's going to run the show starting with episode 222, which is a pretty cool handoff. And I just want to thank you for being with me for this past almost decade. It's been an incredible ride. I have loved it so much. I remember the very first moment I got inspired to do a podcast, kind of just landed in my heart because the podcast stage was still pretty early. It's much, much more crowded now than it was back then. And I remember some folks on my team being like, really? Like, do people even really listen to podcasts? And I was like, I think that there's something there. And we have actually touched the hearts of and the ears and eyeballs of, hundreds of thousands of people through this podcast. It's been amazing. We, team members, teachers, family child care owners, home daycare folks, and then, of course, multi-site owners and single-site owners across the board, as well as influencers in the space, coaches, and consultants of all kinds in the early learning field and education field have come into this podcast. And so it's been such a huge impact and just a fun experience for me to be the host. My early roots were as a radio DJ, and I worked for 4 or 5 years in public radio, being a volunteer DJ at KBUT in tiny Crested Butte, Colorado. And you can read more about Crested Butte and how it's impacted my life in my book, The Antidote to Fear. And just being able to come to you via the podcast airwaves, also on YouTube, and make an impact, share best practices, share really cool stuff and amazing stories that are little known fun facts and little known strategies for success in the business of childcare and early learning. So it's been an incredible ride, and I want to thank you for being here alongside me. Jennifer Connor is going to come in 2 episodes from now. So I have one more episode after this with an amazing guest who you're going to love. It's a full circle moment. I'll just sneak peek it like that. And then we're going to go in a, beautiful new direction with Jen hosting. And then, as I mentioned, from time to time, some coaches will come in. Coach Tabina will come in. I might come in and co-host with Jen. And we're going to meet a whole new amazing group of people in this field and experts, as well as practitioners and educators doing the work that you guys do every day. So thank you for your devotion to the children of this world and for being with me. So without any further ado, before I get emotional, let's dive in to episode 220. It's called Becoming Stronger and Getting Better Each Day with Cynthia Maher. Let's go. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I am Kris Murray, your host, and I am thrilled to be with my friend Cynthia Maher today and introduce you to her and her world. Cynthia, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Kris?
I'm doing fantastic. So where are you right now?
I am in Michigan, close to the Ohio border, and it's warm today, a little bit warmer than usual. So it's nice. The sun's out.
That's good. I think it's been pretty chilly in your parts over the last few weeks, right? During the holiday season. Yeah. I've been watching football games in the Midwest and thinking about formerly living in Ohio and being from Ohio, kind of being glad that I am back out here in Colorado because it looked very cold.
Yes. And I live in Ohio. So I live in Ohio. My center is in Michigan.
Okay, cool. Yep. What town is your center in?
It is in Temperance, Michigan.
Okay. Awesome. And tell us a little bit about your school, your center, where in terms of like the capacity, enrollment, and anything else that you want to share about your brand.
Okay. I have 2 buildings. They're 2 licensed. So I always consider myself a multi-site because I have 2 buildings, but they are actually just right across the parking lot from one another. We have the infant and toddler building that they can have 78 children over there. And then our preschool and pre-K building can hold 60 children. So our full capacity is 132. I've been teetering a little bit lately. As everyone knows, enrollment's been a little low around the country. So that's one of the things we've been working on is, pushing our enrollment and focusing on doing a few different discounts and all that thing just to try and get some new enrollments this year. So that's, yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I'm always a fan of doing promotions, especially in January. So we could talk more about that when we talk about marketing. I love that you're doing that. How long have you been in this amazing world of ECE?
Well, I've owned my center for 20 years. But when I was in college, I was actually working in childcare as well. So I've pretty much my entire adult life has been in childcare.
Wow. And what made you, as a young adult, what made you be inspired to get into the field?
I always have just enjoyed working with children. My focus has always been really the development of children. My bachelor's is in psychology, and I focused in child psychology during my studies at the University of Toledo. And so just childhood in general, just the development and watching children grow and flourish and get those aha moments with the light bulb have always been like something that just drives me.
So when you bought your first center, or just tell us a little bit about how that came about. How did you find the space, or did you start in your home and then move to a center, or just tell us about the origin story?
So I originally was not the original owner. of my center.
Okay.
It was originally in my a church, and the gentleman and his sister-in-law opened it thinking that they were going to be the owners and flourish and stuff. And his sister-in-law got pregnant and she bailed it on him. And then his wife got transferred to North Carolina, and so he had to bail. And he asked people in the church, who do you think would be good to run a child care center in the church? And my girlfriend said my name, and he approached me and I took it over. So it just, it kind of just fell into my lap. I wasn't
Uh-huh.
even looking for it at that time.
Right. So sometimes the church-based schools or centers can be really lucrative or just really successful because your rent is oftentimes subsidized. And so you're paying a low cost of, the space in terms of like a lease or what have you. And so is that the situation that you found yourself in? You were able to fill it and kind of do pretty well with it early out, like
Early
early
on,
on? Mm-hmm.
yes. Like when we first started, we weren't even open full time. We were only open like 3 days a week. And we only had 6 children in it, and three of them were my infant teacher's kids. So we really didn't have a whole lot of enrollment going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea what I was doing. I just had experience working in childcare. I didn't have experience running a center. And so I started just like putting out flyers at the libraries and at the schools around town. And by March of that year, the following year, because we opened in October, by March we were full time. We were able to be open full every day of the week, and we had doubled in enrollment. So we had 12 kids. So I think that was good for for a 6 month turnaround.
Right.
But we did move out of the church. We outgrew the church and ended up where we're currently at. And that took a while because I knew that my heart was still like it's my ministry. Like that this it always has been my ministry to be with children and to work with the children. And so when we found this building, we were able to, leave the church. And I thank God every day that he was able to um, provide the church building for us for so long, but we outgrew it. And so we got in our current building, and we only had the one building and had 5 classrooms in there. And it's on a main road in the town that we're in. And so we have a lot of foot traffic because of that. So, which is
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Mm-hmm. So with 132 capacity, I mean, that's quite the growth of the person that you became as a leader and as an owner from 12 to 132, right? So
Yes.
over the years, how have you, I guess, what are some things that you can share about how you've grown in your journey as an owner slash leader? Who's the person that you've become over, from 2005 when you were just starting to the person you are today? What are some things that you can share about your the version that you've become?
Well, I definitely believe I've definitely stronger, and I'm not a pushover because I think when I first started, I wanted to be everybody's friend, and you
Right.
know, um it really wasn't a business for me. It was just a job, and I treated it like a job for a long time.
Interesting.
And so I've changed that mindset. And now I'm, not friends with my staff. I mean, I'm friendly with them, but they do know that, that they work for me. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's a different role that I've, you know, made because I didn't want to just be friends with everybody. I had goals that I had in mind and, expectations. And now I tell people what my expectations are through our trainings and everything. It's just not oh, come on, have fun and, play with kids all day long type thing.
Well, tell us a little bit about your home life. What's going on at home? What are your interests and family life? Just share more about that.
So I coach travel volleyball, and I've been doing that for about 12 years, and I absolutely love coaching volleyball. So I do that. I have a husband. I've been married to him for 30 years. and I could not do what I'm doing every single day without him and his support. Because, in childcare, there's a lot of ups and downs. And, whether I'm having a good day or a bad day, he always lets me vent and, be there. He's there for me
Hmm.
100%. I have two boys, and one's 25 and the other one's 21. They both still live at home. My youngest is in school for business, and he even in middle school, he was starting his own business and doing things, graphic design for people, for gamers and stuff. So he's always been really driven. He's very much like I am, type A personality. Um, and then my oldest, he works in the trades and he absolutely loves his job, and they're just really good kids. So,
Love
yeah,
it. My 23-year-old is in the trades, as you may know. So we have that in common.
yeah,
That's kind of fun. And we love our boys in the trades. We need more guys
yes, we do.
to be doing that. And it's can be a very lucrative career as well. At least it
Hmm.
is for mine because he just moved to Alaska and he's making six figures. Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
that's good.
I know. I know.
That's awesome for him.
I know he's 23 and pulling down over a hundy. And I'm like, man, you're doing great. So very proud.
That is awesome.
Love it. What is a fun fact about you that not that many people know?
That that I coached high school volleyball for 3 years on top of running a business, and that my husband thinks that I'm crazy because I'm never at home. Because I am always on the go. I cannot sit still. I'm always trying to find something more to do with my life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Um, let's talk a little bit about your marketing and what sets you apart. I don't know how much competition there is in a relatively small town of Temperance, Michigan, right on the border.
Yeah.
Those are smaller towns, and I guess outside of Toledo, is that like a
Hmm.
suburb of Toledo, kind of?
Yeah.
Um, so, talk about your competition. Talk about the experiences you've had in your community, trying to make a name for your brand, trying to be known, and what sets you apart. What do you feel are like your unique benefits that you
Okay.
offer?
All right. So, I know that what one of the things that we did early on was we did like a backpack giveaway at the church when we were still at the church, and we did like a fun fest that had like bounce houses and stuff, and it was able to promote not just the church but also the child care center. And we did do something just recently when we had our 20-year anniversary this past summer. We had opened it to the community and had bounce houses and other things, and had marketing materials there as well. And we've been really trying to push just working more with the community. We had our trunk or treat this past October, and invited the community, and we had a really good turnout for that. And one of the things that we really have been implementing heavily has been our CRM with through Playground. We've been with
Hmm.
Brightwheel, we've been with IntelliKids, and we just switched to Playground back right before Summit. And I love their CRM program. It's really beneficial, like for us, because my enrollment specialist has been able to really keep on top of things that way. And it's just like really user friendly. So we've
Cool.
been doing that. Yeah. Um, so like our tour experience, I think has improved quite a bit because of the CRM, because we've been able to really branch out a little bit further in what we previously were doing through IntelliKids,
Right.
because you can like actually make an enrollment um, you can actually make something right through Playground that you can then post to your Facebook page, and it takes you right to the Playground to be able to enroll or to book a tour right from there. And yeah, and I have my enrollment director or my enrollment specialist right now. She's reading your book. to go back to the grassroots, to try and boost that enrollment as well.
Right.
So, yeah, we ask parents through for Google reviews. We've done their Google review contests. We had the Sotellus before. We've done that.
Uh-huh.
Um, so just really working with, because it is a smaller town, working with our families for that word of mouth, because there's a preschool like diagonal from where I'm at, and there's also like two other ones down the street. So like there's a lot of childcare centers and preschools that in our vicinity, like within probably a 25, not even 25-mile, 10-mile radius than where
Hmm.
we're at. So it's very heavily populated with childcare centers. So it's hard to, compete. But we do have the biggest playground in the area, and we've been around a lot longer than a lot of these other places. And so, it helps that we have been around as long as we have
Right.
because families know us.
Yeah. So I love that. I love the community relationships with the community events. I'm always a big fan of the Fun Fest, Family Appreciation Fest with the bounce houses. And I love that you're going back to basics, reading the 77 strategies book, I'm guessing,
Yes. Yes.
and kind of implementing a lot of those grassroots and back to basics ideas. So, because they work. So I love that. And yeah, the playground software and those, my friends that created it. So my buddies over at Playground, they've been on the podcast and I love them. They're really sharp and definitely best in class, I think. So I love that you're using their CRM. I didn't know that their CRM was also providing, a really good user experience for you, being user friendly and helping you track those leads is
Yeah.
huge and get leads. So I love
Yeah.
that.
And they did just inform me that they are rolling out like because I have it in Google Sheets right now of like keeping track of our tours and the tour conversion and all of that. And now they're going to be doing that. So it should be coming pretty soon that I'll be able to just have those reports right from Playground to know what our tour conversion is. And that will be nice as well.
Love it. Um, let's talk about your leadership
Mhm.
and um, and culture. So talk a little bit about maybe 10 years ago, what were things like in terms of leadership and culture in your school, and how did you become the leader that you are today? What are you doing in terms of your culture building to try to make your team be an engaged, collaborative set of teachers and educators?
Well, I definitely, I do like our motto has always been to treat others as you would want to be treated. And I do treat all my staff as if they're family.
Mm-hmm.
I do want them to know that I care for them and that I want them to feel valued and supported while they're working. But I also want to make sure that they're completely trained properly before we, put them into a classroom. And I think that's where it initially needs to start. And so, our leadership team, like all of my leadership team, has always been really good about making sure that, they have those 2 weeks of onboarding when they first start at the center, and that we build on that to know that, hey, you are you are valued. We want you to know what you're doing before you go in with the children. And just building that sense of teamwork and a culture that inspires excellence has always been, what we have been focusing on. I can tell you, 10 years ago, I didn't have core values. I didn't even know like what I was doing still 10 years ago, I feel like. And honestly, I that's because of you and your company. When I didn't know what I was doing before I joined the academy. And since joining the academy, I've learned so much more about running a business and about leadership and about myself and how strong I am. Um, More than I thank you because I couldn't do
Oh,
what I'm doing without all of your books and the academy and everybody that has helped me along the way.
well, you're welcome. And thank you for saying that.
No problem.
That's always so fulfilling for me to hear and to know that we're making a difference and helping give you guys that structure and that support and that training so that you know how to become the leader that you always wanted to be and have that culture, that amazing culture in your school. Um, you mentioned enrollment specialist,
Mhm.
and I love that you have one because a lot of schools that of your size, may feel like they don't need one. But talk a little bit about your admin team. How do you have it structured, and what are the key roles that help you stay in the visionary seat?
So I have an executive director, and she is literally my right hand girl. She actually was my preschool teacher when we first moved into this building, and then she left for a while and went to go work at Head Start. And when my program director resigned back in 2012, no, wait, when was it? 20, I want to say it's like 2019, 2020. She resigned. And at the same time, my friend who now, well, my executive director, she she had posted on Snapchat that she was done working where she was working and that she needed to find something new. And I reached out to her, and it was the best thing I've ever done because she has helped me be a better leader by just coming and working alongside me
Mm,
and helping me have a backbone a little bit and making sure like she kind of pushed me out and said, "Hey, you put me in charge, let me be in charge,
hmm.
and I'll come back to you if I have issues." So I have her, and then I have my program director underneath her, and she does the infant and toddler building. She's a
Okay.
director for that. I have an assistant director who's also my GSRP lead teacher because we have the state funded pre-K classroom. We do have one of those in our building.
Hmm.
So that's my assistant director, and she's been with me for a while, and I love her to death. And then I have my enrollment specialist, and she left before and went and worked at another GSRP slash Head Start class and came back as my enrollment specialist because her degree's in communication, and she's excellent. I just feel
Cool.
like I have the best team that's
Yeah.
surrounding me because they are all strong women, and they know what their roles are, and they know, what my expectations are, and we just work really well together.
Nice. Have you had the opportunity to bring any of these amazing ladies to any academy events or summit
Yes.
events?
Yes. So, my executive director has been with me now, I think, to three summits because she was in Nashville and then Atlanta, and then when we were in Florida. And then this past year, I had seven girls with me. So I
Wow.
brought even some of my head teachers with me this past year to Atlanta. And they were wowed. Like I remember my first summit and how like overwhelming it was and just the atmosphere and the energy that's in the room. And
Hmm.
then they felt that. And so like we drove down to Atlanta from Michigan and drove home. And it was a very fun ride home because it was just let's do this and let's do that. And it was just all the talk. And it was
Right.
amazing to see other people have that energy that I get every time I'm at, one of the academy functions.
Uh-huh. So it sounds like, I mean, it's definitely an investment to bring seven people to a summit with the tickets and the lodging and all of that. And but I'm assuming that it was worth the investment because especially on the way home, you guys were all collaborating and there was so much energy and you were excited and planning and all of that. Like it sounds like it was definitely worth it.
It definitely was. It was definitely life changing for a lot of the girls.
Nice.
I wouldn't change it for anything.
That makes me feel so happy. I love that. Let's talk a little bit about your experience. Of course, since you were a Rockstar finalist and they were there in the audience to see you on the big stage present your story. How was that experience for you? And how did you feel about like what inspired you to join the contest and to go for it? What did you, and also just like what did you learn about yourself through the process?
So I think the reason why I went into the contest was because last year or 2 years ago in 2023, or 24, I was sitting in the audience and I was like, I'm going to do this next year. Like I just sat there and just said, I'm going to do this. And my directors and because my both my directors were there that year and my assistant director, and they said, we're going to hold you to it. And so, like, by the time we got home that year, we were already discussing how we were going to do it. Like, my director wanted me to have a drone that went over like the church and was like, this is how we got started, and then like drone into the new building. Like, she had this video all planned out. And so, like,
Wow.
from the get-go in November, we were already discussing how we were going to do it. And so it was just waiting until the actual application like came out that I was
Mm-hmm.
able to sit down and really go back and think about my story and like dive into all the pluses and the minuses. And I know I went over on my time during on stage and didn't get to show everybody my video, which my son was upset about because he helped me edit the video. He was like, "You didn't
Uh-huh.
even get to see it." And but it was just a really fun experience. Like just to be able to get up there and stand in front of people, like I would have never been able to do that, not even 5 years ago, I think. Like I've always been a really shy person,
Mhm.
and to be able to stand on that stage and feel as comfortable as I felt, it was amazing. Like I mean, I know I didn't win, but like I still felt like I won because I got to
Yeah.
experience that time being on the stage, and it was just awesome.
Yeah. And being
And
in the green room with the whole gang back there, it's just like a really cool behind the scenes experience too.
yes, yes. And
Love it.
and Coach Ben and I, we had a little moment before I went on stage, and that was fun. Because, I've had Coach Ben, I think 3 years out of the time I've been in the academy, he's been my
Uh-huh.
coach.
Yeah.
And so that was fun being able to have him back there as well.
Yeah.
Um, but I actually learned a lot about myself and how strong I really am and what I can accomplish if I put my mind to it by just that experience.
Right. That's amazing. I love that for you. Um, what is something that you, looking back at your journey, anything that you would have done differently if you had a magic time machine and you could go back and change something or do something differently, what would it be?
I think I have two of them. One would be to shut my mouth so then people would have been able to see my video on the Rockstar stage. And then I think the biggest one though would be to join the academy earlier in my journey, because of the fact that if I would have known all the things that I know now, or that when I started the academy, if I would have been able to learn that when I was first starting the center, I think I would be stronger than what I am even, earlier in my business venture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So definitely that.
If you put the, if you have a Vimeo link to, or a YouTube link to your video, I'll put it in the show notes with this podcast and then people can go watch it. Would you
Oh,
like
that would be
to do
awesome.
that? Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Um, what's next for you? What's on the horizon? Are you thinking about expanding or where's your head at with that?
So my husband thinks I'm crazy, but yes, I am thinking about expanding.
Okay.
I've already been in touch with a few business leaders and owners in the area in Toledo. And within the next 5 years, I hope to have three more centers.
Ooh.
One possibly even in spring of 2026, because I'm already in the talks with someone about that.
Okay.
So yeah,
Good. I love this for you.
thank
And
you.
you seem to have no trepidation or fear about it. So I love your big
No,
bold heart.
I mean, I just want to be there for the community.
Yeah.
Like I know what my brand is. I know what my philosophy is in childcare, and I think that if I can give that to other kids, then that's my goal.
Hmm. What is your feeling about what's going on in the landscape today? Right now, at this moment, we're having an interesting political season with childcare. Some feel it's an attack on childcare, and you could definitely see it as that, especially in certain states where funding's being pulled. And enrollment's down. So there's just like this interesting season. So how is it going in your neck of the woods, and how are you feeling about the whole thing?
Well, I definitely know that we're feeling it a little bit here, especially with enrollment numbers being down a little bit more than they were last year at this time. Um, I believe, though, as of right now, that Michigan is not being affected by the subsidies, but
Right.
it's scary. It's a scary thing, that there are states that are being targeted because of their political backgrounds. And, it shouldn't be about politics. It's about the
Right.
kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hopeful that it gets resolved quickly, because I wouldn't want any center to have to close because they can't get, their funding back because of one or two bad apples.
Right. Right. Totally agree with you. And we have a little bit of a movement going inside of CCSA, which is hashtag We Are Childcare Strong. So
Yep.
had to
I
mention
saw
that.
that with Coach Tamina yesterday on Facebook, and I was
Yep.
like, oh, I need to make shirts for my teachers that say that, because
Yes.
we all need to stick together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I put it on my page as well. So, great. Well, is there any final thoughts? Let's share with folks how people can find you if they want to check out your website or any of your socials. If you want to share any URLs or handles, how can we find you?
So our website is bedfordchildcare.com. And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok under Bedford Child Care.
Okay. Cool. Because I'm not sure we said the name of your program in this podcast.
It's Bedford Child Development Center.
Okay.
And then the preschool building's Bedford Child Development Center 2, TOO.
Okay. Aw, cute. Love it. All right. Anything else that we want to share before we say goodbye?
No, I just appreciate you taking the time and allowing me to come on to the podcast and talk to you about my center and about my journey in childcare. And I can't wait to see what the future brings.
Me too. I think you're doing amazing things in your community, for your people. I love the leadership team that you've developed, and the families and kids that you're impacting, I think, are really lucky.
Thank you.
So
I
thank you.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you, Cynthia, for being here on the podcast today. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll talk to you all next time. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye. I hope you liked this episode of Child Care Rockstar Radio. If you did, please leave a review and share it with someone you know to help spread the word to friends in our industry and on social media. Childcare business success is my passion, and I'm honored to be on this journey with you. As a thank you for listening, I've got a new video training that shows you how to add 6 figures or more of new revenue to your program in the next 60 days by improving your hiring and your enrollment systems. To watch my new video, just go to www.fixmyschool.com. That's fixmyschool.com. Thanks. Take care and God bless.